What is up, everyone? Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Talking Timepieces with Tony. I'm Tony. Um, I hope everyone had a great week and are preparing for a good weekend or a great weekend. And for those of you who don't know, every Friday we do the Q&A, and that's where you guys ask a question and I answer it, hopefully. And all you got to do if you want to participate is leave your question in the comment section below. Doing this for a long time, and it's a lot of fun. I love interacting with you guys, and I love your questions. So also please like and subscribe to my channel. It helps me more than you know, because it helps me stay motivated to do this. So I appreciate it. So let's get into it real quick. Also, I am wearing my Swatch Simpsons Day of the Dead watch, since we have Halloween coming up, and Halloween's my favorite time of year. So just toning it down with a Swatch today. And also, everyone who has purchased my artwork this week, I really appreciate it. I was not expecting the response that I have gotten from it. So it means a lot to me that you guys are doing this. I have they're basically acrylic paints. I do have watercolors also mixed with acrylic, depends on the piece that I'm doing. And I do have a character named Jean-Claude, and he's a watch ghost, and he's not a bad guy. He's just a guy who manages time, looks after people, and he's a protector, so to speak. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, Tony Gamble _artist, I'd appreciate it. And again, all these, the originals I'm not really selling, but I did sell 2 of them this week, but I've been selling a lot of prints, and that's primarily what I'm selling. So we're trying to get, more watch art out there in the world, as opposed to just the typical pictures of Rolex or Cartier or Patek Philippe or whatever else. This is just, there's a theme based on this, and, I really do appreciate it. So that being said, let's get on with the Q&A. So thanks. First question comes from Aaron Clark 919. That's a clean looking watch. Thanks. I don't know which one you're talking about, but thank you. I have 2 questions for you. First question is, what is the name of the watch insurance you use? I know you answered a few times, but I cannot remember the video. Second, I'm turning 40 in 3 years. I want a nice watch for my 40th. I'm looking at a vintage Rolex day date, but I want your suggestion on a watch that's under 20K and something you wouldn't normally buy unless it was for something like a huge milestone, like an age, wedding, big job promotion, etc., etc. Keep up the great videos, sir. Jewelers Mutual for watches. You can go with Chubb, which is Hodinkie's insurance too. So, either one. I prefer Jewelers Mutual. I just do. But anyway, as far as the watch, if you're looking for a vintage Rolex, 18038 day date is actually a really good I say investment. I shouldn't have even mentioned the word investment, but for the price point, you're getting a beautiful watch that still looks modern. Rolex started out with the 18038 in 1978. And when I say started in 1978, that's when Rolex, the 18038 is the first day date to have a sapphire crystal. I think they had them on other watches previously, but at the same time, the 18038 is when they first put the sapphire crystal on it. I prefer, obviously, the sapphire crystal. Otherwise, you're going to get a plexiglass crystal prior to 1978. You can pick those watches up for under $20,000. They still look amazing. So, check that out. Check those out. Check out that reference number. It's a great watch. They look cool. But anything else, it's up to you what you want, man. And I appreciate your question. Have a good one. Thank you. Next question, Frank Capolino 9413. Hello, Tony. How are you? Good. How are you, man? Did you ever buy back a watch you wish you did not sell? And what decade do you think made the best looking watches? Have I ever bought back a watch? Yeah, yes, I have. I've bought the Santos probably 4 times now at this point. I don't know why it is that I buy them and then I keep them and I love it for a minute and then I get rid of them. I don't know why. That's what I've done. But I do have the Santos Dumont, which I have grown to love this watch, and it is one of my daily watches. So the Santos, yeah. And what decade do I think made the best looking watches? I just kind of have to go with the 2000s, man. I love modern watches. I'm not so much into the vintage. Like I can appreciate older watches, and it doesn't have to be vintage if it was the 90s or whatever, or early 2000s. But I guess I like what's coming out. I like newer watches. So thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. This is a question from Wes Braddock 553, and apparently I said I would add this to the Q&A, and I didn't. I don't know what happened. Sometimes that happens where I say, okay, add it to the Q&A. Here's the thing: if you ask me a question, and as long as I respond saying I'll add to the Q&A, I will. There have been times where it's slipped under the cracks, and I don't know why, but it does. Probably just, it happens. So I appreciate your patience on this one, dude. Hey, Tony, I recently tried on a no-date sub at the AD, and the bezel action felt extremely stiff and was difficult to grip and turn. You sure that wasn't an S&P 300 Omega? I'm just kidding for all you Omega fans. I was pretty disappointed as my Seiko King Sumo, which is under $1,000, had much better bezel action and is making me reconsider the sub as a grail diver. Have you ever experienced this bezel issue with subs or other luxury divers you've owned? Or do you think maybe it was just that the display model was overused or something? Maybe I'm not used to what a bezel should feel like at the Rolex level price range, but something definitely felt off about that sub's bezel. I'm sorry that you felt that way when you were turning the bezel. No, I've had no problems. If it was tough, I don't know, maybe it was like just overworn and it's kind of wearing down. I wouldn't say that it's new. I mean, it could be, but at the same time, I think the bezel action on the Submariner is actually really good. So I don't know what to tell you on that, man, but I've had no issues, and I've had the 124060 and the 14060M. But the thing is that no, never had an issue, man. But all the best, and I would not reconsider it, man. If that's the issue that's gonna make you not want a Rolex Submariner, I don't know. I mean, because really, how often are you going to use it? And I'm not saying that. I mean, you have a valid point, so I'm not going to discredit that. But really, when it comes down to it, it shouldn't be. You shouldn't have a. It shouldn't be your overlying factor of as to not buying the watch. But I guess that's your thing. Then sorry, I'm kind of like lack of sleep. But thanks for your question, man. Appreciate it. Making new names, and that's all I got. Is watch enthusiasm more common among musical artists than in the general population? I don't know. I mean, a lot of artists do collect watches, but then so does a lot of the general population. But the thing is if you're a popular musical artist or an actor or whatever else, they're more in the spotlight. They're more into, got Joe Schmo walking down the street with a Rolex on or whatever. They're not getting the press. You know what I mean? So I don't think so. But at the same time, I think it's just a common thing for people who are into watches, that are enthusiastic about watches. But thank you. I appreciate your comment or your question. Next one, Gregory Enright 4544. What's up, dude? How are you? Good evening, Tony. I love your videos. Thank you. By the way, how's the back? My back sucks. It's still, it's, as long as I keep getting epidurals and fingers crossed, I'm good. But it's like right now, it's not doing too great. But thanks for asking. One quick question. Rolex has already raised their prices 2 times this year, and there's talk about them doing it again this year. If Rolex raised their prices again this year, would that have any effect on you buying another Rolex this year? Thanks for all your videos. I always look forward to seeing them. Yeah, it would. Totally. When you start just raising prices and raising prices and raising prices, eventually you're just going to go, no, I'm not going to spend, $25,000 on a fucking OP. You know what I'm saying? So, but, the thing is that even now, more so now than even before, because now with the other things I have going on in my life, I'm a little bit more particular in things that I'm buying. If you've noticed, if you guys watch my channel for any length of time, notice that I don't buy, or this year I have not bought too many watches. I think I bought the Rolex OP, Cartier Santos, I think, yes, the Nomos yellow, and I think that's it. So not too many watches this year. I'm sort of tightening up on the financials as far as spending anything right now, especially with, I'm engaged, I'm getting married or whatever, I've got other obligations now. I have to think of somebody else more so than just myself and watches, you know what I mean? Not that, what it's just what it is. I'm just kind of like not spending as much, I'm being more particular. So, but thanks, man. Appreciate it. Vahan S, what's up, man? You comment on everything, and that's awesome, and I appreciate it, man. I appreciate your support. Happy Friday, Tony. People might have opinions if you're the best or worst, but you are by far the most authentic, and that's why we love your content. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's all I try to be, is just myself. You know what I mean? I'm not pretending to be anything. I don't have any monetary interest in this channel to where I'm trying to, like, you know, be as formal, as cordial, and have the big studio lights and cameras and stuff like that. I just do what I do, and I appreciate it, man. Question: do you usually think about what watches you want in your collection, then rank them in order you would like to obtain them? Or is it more like one at a time and you request them as you want to build your collection? Hope this makes sense. Have a great weekend. Thanks, man. You have a great weekend too. No, I just did a video. You saw it walking down the street talking about watches I want to get, and it's not in any particular order. In fact, someone commented, Tony talks about getting a Breguet, but his next watch is going to be a Rolex, because that's the thing. My attitude, or, thought process behind that is generally, or what it was, if I go, okay, my next watch is going to be a Cartier, but then Juan calls me and says, this Rolex came in, Rolex is going to be priority over everything. It's just, that's because that's the way I am. And that's, Rolex is sort of the priority watch brand. But for the most part, I don't really, like I did that video that I just did and said, well, I'd like this or like this or like this, but it could change tomorrow, and I might get something else. You know what I mean? So I don't really prioritize what I'm going to buy first, second, third, or fourth. I just decide I'm going to do this, and that's what I do. As far as the collection goes, I'm not trying to build a collection. I'm not a watch collector. I'm a watch enthusiast. So I'm not like sitting there, I just need as many watches as possible. Otherwise, I wouldn't have any room in my place here to live, with all the watches I have. So, and in the bank. But it's like, I just have the watches that I have that I wear, and I've toned down my collection a bit. So yeah, I'm not a watch collector. I'm not building a collection. I just, I buy what I like when I like. And then the previous question about the Rolex, vintage Rolex, where he was asking me, oh my gosh, what was he asking me? I apologize, man. It was like buying another Rolex. I am so sorry, you guys. It was a couple of questions ago. I had a point here, but there you go. I think I just lost it. Yeah, I think that was the first question. Watches about, sorry, I'm so sorry about that, you guys. A watch that you wouldn't normally buy unless it was something like a huge milestone, like an age, wedding, big job promotion, etc. And that in itself, I don't consider anything either. I don't sit there and go, well, I'm going to wait for a promotion or a specific birthday or an event or whatever to buy a watch. I did that with the Zenith once, but for the most part, I don't look at it like that. I just, if I can do it, then I do it, and it's irrelevant to what else is going on in my life. But thanks a lot, man. I do always appreciate you. Next question comes from Colin Kilgore 7347. Hey Tony, in your opinion, what are the top 3 rubber strap manufacturers? Rolex, Zenith, etc. Would also like an honorable mention for a third-party manufacturer. I don't know. when it comes to Rolex, they're not really rubber. They've got a different name for it, which is very similar. And they also have like it's titanium strip in that rubber strap. So whatever you want to call it. And what they have a name for it, which I can't remember. And I don't own any Rolex watches with their Oyster Flex bracelet. Zenith do have honestly a really nice rubber strap. I've got a few of them. Even the strap on this the Pilot is rubber. It's got that's what's something a couture effect or whatever. Zenith make a great strap. Then as far as so Zalande is a third party manufacturer. Now I ragged on them pretty hard for a minute when I had my Omega S&P 300 and I bought it for that reason. And I did rag on that watch, that strap, because it was almost $200. And then the owner of the company sent me a text message at 3 a.m. and he kind of was nasty about it. And I was just like, dude, don't ever text me again, let alone at 3 a.m. But I did put that strap on my Zodiac watch, and I really like it on that watch, and it's comfortable. Another strap company I recommend is WIS, W-I-S, and those are more silicone, but they're comfortable and they're nice. So thanks for your question, man. David Parrish Productions. What's up, David? Hope you're doing well. Hope your family's well. Everything good. Tony, which watch has your favorite crown and why? Thanks, buddy. The crown. It'd have to be Rolex, man. Yeah, I mean, I do like the Rolex crown. Why? I just like it because it's a Rolex crown. I do like onion style crowns. Now, this is not so much an onion style crown, but it's a big crown, easy to grip. It has a cool pattern to it, and I like that. I like the Cartier crowns as well because you have that nice little cabochon there, which a lot of people think it's a sapphire. I've said this before, it is not a sapphire, it's a spinel. So yeah, it just depends, but I do like onion style crowns, the more round, but it's, yeah. Thanks, man, I appreciate it. Airplane Mode 01, Tony, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Thanks for being a part of my journey to get my pink dial watch to represent my daughter. She is doing great and growing like a weed. Hey man, congratulations on that. Congratulations on the watch. And I'm glad she's healthy and all that. I am a ukulele player myself. I learned on my deployment to Afghanistan to pass the time. What is your favorite brand of ukulele, and do you have a Grail ukulele? Love your channel and thank you for all you do. Yeah, man, I'm sponsored, endorsed by Koaloha, and I have been since 2006. So quite some time, almost 20 years. Well, obviously 19 years, but I know it's 2005, so it's been 20 years. Koaloha make handmade ukuleles on Oahu in Hawaii. And I consider them to be the best ukuleles on the planet. They are expensive for what they are because they're a hand-built instrument. It's probably the Grail one. I mean, I use the tenors with a low G. Again, all handmade koa. This one has my name on it, Tony Gamble, with a couple of dice on it. I guess this would be considered a Grail, wouldn't it? And they sound phenomenal. And a lot of people think ukuleles are just like toys. No, this is a serious instrument. A lot of people also don't know I was nominated for a Hawaiian Grammy, Nahuku Hano Hano Award for Rock Album of the Year in 2007, and also Best Ukulele Album for the Hawaiian Music Awards, and did a lot of touring and all that kind of stuff. But as far as these goes, I have, I think, about 10 of these, not with my name on it, but just the tenor ukuleles, and I also use a low G, if any of you guys know what that means. But yeah, beautiful instruments. I'm lucky they give them to me for free. I've never had to pay for them, so that's another thing too. But yeah, so those are my Grail ukulele. Thanks, man. Next one, CJR1324. Enjoyed the video. Thanks, man. Question, I'll be in LA in mid-October. What's the best place to go and see and handle many different brands under one roof? In Seattle, we're extremely limited, so for me, it's usually Vegas to be able to see everything. Thanks and have a great day. Then and thank you. And someone commented, Guido Ruder 2198, South Coast Plaza, Costa Mesa. And yeah, he's right. I mean, if you go to the South Coast Plaza, you've got everything. You've got Rolex, Vacheron Constantin, Piaget, A. Langenzoon. You've got a Bucherer there, Patek Philippe, um, and the list goes on. I mean, in one spot you're good to go. But LA is freaking huge, man. It's like Costa Mesa's a little outside. I don't know where you're going to be, but with a population of like 10 million people, man, we're pretty big. So depending on where you're going to be, take the trip to Costa Mesa. But on that note, you guys, I appreciate it. Have a great one. We'll see you on the next one.